This is part 4, section 3.5. We are about to start writing the conditional, converse, inverse, and contrapositive of a bunch of different statements. What we need to remember first, because we do need to know not P, not Q, we need to remember how to negate certain of our quantified statements. So if you have all A or B, its negation is some A or not B. Some A are B, and then no A are B. So these are your negations. We need to remember that so that we can use that to do these problems. So we want to write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of each statement. Now when you're doing these on the homework, they're just going to ask you for these. I've broken it up into a couple of steps. And specifically, I've added these two. So we're going to identify P and Q statements, and then we're going to write down the negative, the not versions of each one. And then we'll go through and write the other versions. Okay? So if I am in Chicago, then I am in Illinois. So let's let our P statement be I am in Chicago. And then the Q statement would be I am in Illinois. Okay. So, and then the conditional is always written, so if P, then Q. So let's think about this. If I am in Chicago, then I am in Illinois. It's right there. I've done that correctly. So now let's figure out not P and not Q. Not P. Well, this isn't quantified. There's no all or some or anything like that. So all I really need to do is to put the word not in there. I am not in Chicago. And then not Q would be I am not in Illinois. Okay, so now basically we've got each of the pieces we need in English. Now it's just a matter of writing them down. So if your conditional is if P then Q, the converse is if Q then P. So right here, if Q then P. So now all I need to do is to write this part down. If I am in Illinois, then I am in Chicago. And if you think about this, using what we know about whether these things are true or not, you can see that these aren't equivalent. Chicago is a city in Illinois. So if you are in Chicago, you are also in Illinois. But Illinois has other cities other than Chicago. So just by the fact that you're not in Chicago doesn't mean that you're not in Illinois. You could be in some other city in Illinois. That's why we're saying they're not equivalent, because you can do things like this where it just doesn't work in the other direction. Okay? So for the inverse is if not P, then not Q. So right here, I am not in Chicago. If I am not in Chicago, then I am not in Illinois. Okay, and again, you can see where this is not equivalent to the original by just using our common sense. If I am not in Chicago, then I could be in some other city in Illinois, and it would not follow that I'm not in Illinois. So these two are equivalent statements, not equivalent to our original. Now for the contrapositive, that would be not Q. If not Q, then not P. So if I am not in Illinois, then I am not in Chicago. Okay. And because Chicago is inside of Illinois, if you are in Texas, you're definitely not in Chicago. Okay, let's try this one. If it is blue, then it is not an apple. Okay, now you can really start confusing yourself. This second part here is written with a not in there. You can write your Q value and then put a not in front of it in the beginning if you want to, or you can just define the P and the Q the way that they are. So I would let P stand for it is blue. And I'll let Q be it is not an apple. There are no quantified statements in here, so all we really need to do to make them negative is to put a not in there, or in this case, since this already has a not, that would be a double negative, and it will just go back. So not P, it is not blue, and not Q is it is an apple. And our original statement was if P, then Q. And now, again, it's just a matter of writing down each of these pieces. For the converse, you just flip it around. So if Q, then P. So if it is not an apple, then it is blue. Okay. So, well, just the fact that it's not an apple doesn't mean that it's blue. It could be green or red, or because they are animals. Never mind. I just lost my mind. There are other things other than apples that are not blue. Okay. So for the inverse. This is if not P, then not Q. So if it is not blue, then it is an apple. So let's say you have a grape. You have green grapes. It's not blue, but it's not an apple either. So it's not equivalent to the original statement, which is true. If it's blue, we don't have blue apples, so it's not an apple. Now contrapositive, so not Q. If not Q, then not P. So if it is an apple, then it is not blue.